Hey guys, Simon here and welcome to my channel. I don't want to waste too much time with an intro, but this video is the second in a series about the leaked information as it relates to a new Batman Arkham game. This one possibly set after Arkham Origins. This video will be about the leaked villains said to be in that game and a little backstory on them and things I think are just interesting to know about them. Now since there are a fair number of bad guys named, I'm going to skip over the ones we have dealt with in previous games and the ones we know so well. These characters being Anarchy, Two-Face, Riddler, and the Joker. So if you want to know more about these guys, look them up or play the games. Now the main antagonists of the game are rumored to be Owlman and the Court of Owls, with Talons, members of the court acting as a supporting force, similar I would guess to how Talia's guards were in Arkham City. So first let's talk about Owlman. The first irritation of this character was from Earth 3 and was made as a dark counterpart to Batman, Owls being a natural predator of bats. On his Earth he was part of the crime syndicate, Think Evil Justice League, and ran Gotham as a criminal mastermind. The identity of this version is never really named, but is assumed to possibly be Thomas Wayne Jr. More on that in a second. He becomes Owlman when he sees his family killed in front of him. He possesses all of Batman's regular skills, plus he could see in the dark, control minds somehow, and if knocked out, subconsciously say a word that would teleport him back to his Earth. He died in the Crisis on Infinite Earth series, but was revived in the late 90s. This time from Earth 2, or Antimatter Universe. DC's history is very complicated. In this world, Owlman is Thomas Wayne Jr., who dedicated his life to crime when his mother and brother Bruce were murdered in front of him by a police officer because his father refused to accompany him for questioning. Thomas Jr. escapes with Joe Chill, whom he later considers his hero, and dedicates his life to crime. As this version of the character was resurrected from Earth 3 character, it is assumed that the Earth 3 version was possibly also Thomas Wayne Jr. Not that it matters now anymore, but in the New 52 storyline, Owlman was pretty much the same, minus the fact that in that universe, his butler murdered his parents and he killed Bruce because Bruce wouldn't help him kill his parents. Then he kills all the villains in town and takes Owlman's identity and uses it. And then he goes out and murders that universe's Dick Grayson's parents to make him his sidekick Talon. So this guy definitely has a lot of potential as a main adversary for these games. Next we have the Court of Owls. The Court of Owls is a secret group that has existed since the 1600s in Gotham. They survive by keeping in the shadows and hiding in the infrastructure and architecture of the city. It is made up of the oldest and richest of Gotham's families. They rule through fear and payoffs like all the rest and killed anyone who caused them problems by sending their assassins called Talons. These higher members appear to be human with white owl mask, while the lower ones appear to be a hybrid of the two. The Court of Owls use trained assassins called Talons. These guys are the court's ultimate weapon and are loyal only to them. They normally are kept in stasis with one Talon being active at a time. When one becomes useless or is retired, it is killed and replaced by the next in line. These Talons can be revived and not be killed due to a serum developed by the court along with this use of Electrum, a highly conductive alloy of silver, gold, and trace elements with copper and other elements. Talons can survive decapitation, electrocution, even falls from skyscrapers. Exposure to freezing temperature can slow and shut down the system, but the only known means of killing the Talon is a poison developed by the court. So from all of this information, it seems that the Batman will definitely have a more physical challenge on his hands this time around. So the rest of these guys are pretty much just going to be seen as side quest type villains for the game. So starting us off, we have Maxie Zeus, a history teacher with a wife. He was a pretty normal guy. It is never stated how he loses his wife, and slowly his insanity follows until he believes he is the reincarnation of the Greek god Zeus. Naming himself such, he rises in Gotham's underworld due to his cunning. He comes into conflict with Batman and is sent to Arkham. However, he is put in the minimal wing instead of the max wing, because the doctors don't think he is as crazy as the likes of the Joker and Two-Face. Batman disagrees and Zeus escapes and forms some dumb group that gets caught again by Batman while trying to kidnap an Olympic athlete. He escapes a few more times, one of the more notable times being during the Nightfall storyline when Bane breaks everyone out of Arkham. However, as Maxie is escaping, he runs right into a tree. He yells out for help from the Joker of all people. It seems the Joker would have helped him, but he remarks to himself that he is too annoying. His next appearance is in the Robin books. Robin is investigating a club called Maxie's that seems to operate as a casino with poker chips bearing Maxie's resemblance on them. Not a great fighter or really having any powers, Zeus uses various forms of electricity to kill or harm his victims. He definitely had the best weapon in Batman the Animated Series, where he was carrying around a metal lightning rod that he could shoot out thunderbolts from. Hopefully they add this to the game because it would just be a neat, cool little fight. Next up is the Doll Maker. This character has had a few different personas behind it, the first being a Plastic Man villain that used sentient mechanical dolls to do his dirty work. The second one was a Supergirl villain who was actually the son of Winslow Shoot. the Toy Man. This version used toys he made to do his dirty work. The third version of the doll maker is the new 52 version named Barton Mathis. As a child, he went on hunting trips with his father, who killed people and then ate them in front of Barton. He would later see his father killed by Jim Gordon in front of him. He spends a year in foster care, then disappears for a while before showing back up as the doll maker, a serial killer who takes the skin and limbs from his victims to make living dolls. He wears a mask made from some of the dead flesh of his father. In this version, it is said that he sees the Toy Man as a father figure. This character can best be remembered as the guy who cut off Joker's face. Of course, the Joker let him do it, but yeah. The doll maker also has some henchmen who he calls family. They appear to be cut up and re-stitched together people with skills all their own. The Joker kills one of these family members, it is believed, in order to get the doll maker to come and see him at Arkham, and then the face thing went down. He is an expert surgeon, so good in fact that his dolls look like humans perfectly when reassembled. The original Killer Moth was from the Golden Age. He was a prisoner only identified by his number, 234026. He reads an article about Batman and decides to set himself up as the anti-Batman, helping criminals the way Batman did the police. He builds himself a moth cave styled after the Bat Cave from pictures he saw in the paper. Sorry, I went a little Kim Coates Waterworld on you there.
Paper! There's a kerosene paper!
So yeah, he saw him in a newspaper. Gotta love the Golden Age, along with a Mothmobile and an outfit. He creates a false identity in millionaire philanthropist Cameron Van Cleer. He uses this as a ruse to become friends with Bruce Wayne, while using his Killer Moth persona to gain fame and notoriety among the criminals. He even figures out Bruce Wayne's secret, but doesn't remember due to amnesia from getting shot in the head later on. He continues to fight Batman on and off, and is actually the first villain Barbara faces as Batgirl. In the 90s, post-crisis that is, those crazy DC timelines again, Killer Moth's real name is Rory Walker, an unsuccessful criminal who everyone thinks is a joke. He uses the same false name and gear to fight Batman. He ends up selling his soul to the demon Neuron in order to be feared and is turned into a moth creature called Charaxus. Given super strength, agility, wings to fly, an exoskeleton to protect from physical and energy attacks, along with some claws, he can also make a sticky substance that's acidic to trap people in and dissolve their bodies. This version, though, gets ripped in half by Superboy Prime while he's on a rage-killing boner spree. The next couple Killer Moths are pretty much the same, but not really Batman villains, the new 52 one being a Green Arrow villain. Killer Moth, though, does rely on equipment like Batman to get his jobs done, his main weapon usually being a gun. Originally, it was able to shoot sticky stuff out and put people into cocoons, and could also fire a grenade when necessary. The new 52's version is a highly compressed air gun and is strong enough to stop bullets in mid-air. These next two villains go hand in hand and are among Batman's earliest foes, debuting in Detective Comics 31, 1939, the Monken Dollar. Also worth mentioning is that these villains were Batman's first multi-part adventure in Detective Comics. The Monk is a vampire who wears a red monk outfit with a skull and crossbones on the hood and has powers similar to those of a vampire. He manipulates Bruce Wayne's girlfriend, Julie Madison, several times, which brings him into conflict with Batman, later using his assistant Dollar, also a vampire, to manipulate Madison and Batman. In one of the few instances of Batman killing, he melts down some silver candlesticks, turning them into bullets, and shoots both of the villains in the heart, the silver bullet being attributed to writer's error at the time. These characters are brought back in the early 80s, thanks in part to that great DC multiverse crisis Earth thingy places Flashpoint. Anyway, it gives a new spin on the two as brother and sister as plantation owners in New Orleans. They are attacked by their vengeful ex-slaves and subjected to a voodoo ritual that turns them into vampires. They come after Batman and turn him into a vampire, but he is cured by Father Green, who has been chasing after the duo for a long time. They team up and capture the two, with Father Green taking them away. Although later events have called this story into question, the Monk's continued existence in the post-crisis version of the DC Universe was confirmed by the presence of a familiar red hood displayed as a trophy in the Batcave. Well guys, you know what? I'm going to end it here. I didn't realize how long this video was going to actually run. So I'm going to make a second video that will deal with the other half of whatever's left over of these characters because of, you know, time and such. So come back and check out the next video. I'm just going to jump right back into it, what's left of these side quest characters. Hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, click whatever buttons you want, leave a comment. See you next time.